Okay, now we can move to day 5, which is from this point on, everything have been done uh, correctly, and the hard work have been done already. So from day 5, it's all about scavenging, getting the best out of the desert. Of course, each town has its own circumstances. Each town could have search tower very late, veggie plot very late. So it's all depends on blueprints. And one of the aspects of getting all blueprints to optimize your potential in each town is to get all sealed architect chest and normal architect chest from the map. And to do that, there are 2 sealed architect chests who are heavy, and 5 who can also heavy but can be opened immediately without any tools, will give us 5 rare blueprints. Now finding those 5 rare blueprints is the most important key in the whole game, because there are actually few useless rare blueprints. We have total 23, I think, but there are maybe countless. I guess 4 or 5 are useless, but the rest of 19 are extremely helpful. And to do that, you need to get those 5 free rare blueprints from the desert. To do that, we have the tool from dusk till dawn external map that you can see which zones have been visited, and if not, it will show as red zone, and you can hunt those zones down to the last one to be able to find all those architect chests. And since we did everything we had to do in the first 5 days, in the first 4 days, we had to do just return the rest of survivalists we had camping in this spot and this spot and this spot. They needed just to heroic return back home, and to do that, we wanted them to visit those last few zones we left unvisited. How did we do that? We actually used the radio's radar beacon on them, and that does open this zone, but we have no idea if there was a randomly generated architect chest in it. So we had to check them, and we sent those to survivalists. This red route used without wasting heroic return, and this blue route used with heroic return. And unfortunately we didn't find any, but we did what we had to do to find those. And of course, this green route is just for trimming the zoo, making sure no Z will go to the northern side, and with it we keep the Zs under control and wait for them to grow and grow in this section southeast. What do we do in this meantime? All we have to do from this point on is to probably finish. It's day 6 here right now. We have to finish depleting the explorable ruin. Now these are few facts you need to know about explorable ruin. There are 10 doors inside, and the only way to know for sure that the ruin has been depleted and there are absolutely nothing to get out of them is, in my opinion and in my experience, to send 3 ruin runners after each other, and if all 3 have reported that they found absolutely nothing in all 10 doors, this means 30 searches of 10 doors 3 times. If they all gave absolutely nothing, then you can make sure and call the ruin depleted and there are no more blueprints to get from it. So on day 5 to 6, if the zoo is under control and everything is going as planned, you have to finish this depleting the ruin, and which will allow you to be able to open all other blueprints, among them and on the top priority of them all rare blueprints, because you really want all water projects and food projects. Those 5 projects I mentioned: Aiden project, mechanical bomb, diving rockets, hen house, and apple tree. With them you can guarantee that the life of your town will be extended at least 2 days more than usual, just by having food to eat, which means more extra action points for you, and having water immediately right when the well is empty, so you will not stop drinking water every day. Let's say till this point your town still have about 40 citizens. Let's say only 1 or 2 died because they were random or anything else. You have 38 people to 40 people. If all of them will keep drinking water and eating food from day 5 till day 25, the amount of action points you will get from those is extremely huge, and it will help you in so many ways to extend the life of your town by building all defensive projects, all helpful projects, and scavenging with help of search tower, of course, to get everything out of the desert you want, to boost your watchmen with all items you can find. If you do that right, and everything else will fall in plan, and you will find yourself with a bank full of many things you actually have never imagined what to do with it all. But at some point in the last days of your town, you will realize that all of it will be used in watchmen or dump to defend the town for as long as possible. Now, there are one small issue about explorable ruin. We have something called parent building, which is, for example, vegetable plot and guard tower, and those 2 parent buildings have child projects. Those child projects, for example, for guard tower, shooting gallery, and armory, and Swedish workshop, and small pocket. And veggie plot has grape boom and fertilizers. Getting those is also very important, and to do that in explorable ruin, regardless what type it is, if it's hospital, hotel, or bunker, at some point you have a pool of uncommon blueprints you will get in from each ruin, and let's say you will get 7. 5 of them are normal, the usual you get, and 2 of them are child projects for guard tower. So the only way to get those ruin blueprints, who actually normally have to be opened immediately once found, you cannot get them unlocked, and instead you will get a useless blueprint if you did not uncover guard tower before that. So to do that, you have to make sure to count how many uncommon blueprints you have unlocked from the ruin, and use Wikipedia if you can, or I could provide a list in the same thread I will create. You will be able to determine if I found all normal blueprints other than the child projects. Then you have to stop opening all uncommon blueprints from the ruin, and then start opening all normal uncommon blueprints you get from camping or worn leather bag. Once you have done that and you uncovered the guard tower, only then you can open those last two, for example, two uncommon blueprints you find from the ruin to uncover any child project like shooting gallery or Swedish workshop. The same goes for veggie plot, but that is a special case because the parent building is a common blueprint. So you pretty much have to be lucky finding enough from the study or from worn leather bags or having architects in your team. And that's about ruin. The rest is easy. You open all rare blueprints and very rare blueprints from the ruin, then open all normal one, and considering what you get, you start building from big to small. The thing is about building, if you have enough scavengers and they are very active, you don't even have to bother looking if you have enough resources to build whatever you want to build. Because with time, every day, some new rare resources are coming back to the bank. For example, the most important resource in the entire game is nuts and bolts. If you have enough of them, you can pretty much build everything. If you don't have enough, especially false town, which require 15 of them, you will have some problems by having huge number of defense you are lacking, because this type of resources is not in the bank to be used for building. So the only way to do that is to send as many scavengers as possible with the water and food you have in the bank. As long as that has been done correctly, everything will go to plan. Of course, after those two routes have recovered and opened few sections of the map, now this town was UFC, so there was no soul, but I will explain as if this town would have had souls. The best way to recover all souls, all 39 of them, is to be able to open all unexplored zones down to the last one, so the shaman can see where all souls have landed after each death. And to do that, you have to open all sections. And since we decided that the zoo will be in this section, we have to uncover those zones before it gets crowded with zombies. So to do that, we send few people to go uncover those zones, but of course the main objective at that time was to search for more rare blueprints from architect chests so we can have early food and water supply from projects. And by the end of the day, we uncovered a few sections. We left the rest for when we camp those 3 buildings, which will be easy by just walking back home. So it wasn't very hard and not expensive at all. And of course, we did the trimming. You have to make sure that you keep one line completely Z-free, so the next day you can only clear the one line above it. So if we cleared this completely, the next day we will know for sure no Zs will be at this section, at this line. Only Zs spread one adjacent zones above, north, west, east, south to them. So we kept doing that. We did the same here, looking for architect chests till we find them all. I believe we found them all here, and then we send a scout to open those sections with the radius radar beacon because we didn't care about architect chests. We found them all, so those red zones doesn't matter anymore for us because we found what we are looking for. And that's pretty much it. The main hard section of how to make a zoo has been explained completely.